It's time for you to try this full body dumbbell only workout by Fitness FAQs. We're going to be working all the major muscles in both the upper and lower body. Minimal equipment doesn't mean minimal results when using the right exercises and methods. Get ready to learn must-know techniques, including a full workout at the end. Let's do this. The dumbbell overhead press is a perfect exercise for upper body gains. Overhead press helps growing bigger and stronger shoulders, particularly the anterior or front delts. Regarding technique, you want to be using an elbow position aligned with the scapular plane, aka tucked or 45 degrees. Next, we absolutely must use a full range of motion at the shoulder joint. This involves lowering the weights all the way down until touching the shoulders. This small but important detail puts a full stretch on the anterior delts, maximizing strength and size. Proper technique doesn't end there. We want to get those elbows straight and shoulders shrugged up at the top. Emphasizing the lockout forces optimal muscle and strength gain when going overhead. Lastly, it's an overhead press, so we want to treat it as a vertical movement. Because we're sitting down, we have to control our body, not let it control us. Keep the torso upright and don't lean back. Do this by bracing the abs, ensuring all the stress is happening at the shoulders. Without the luxury of machines or heavy weights, going unilateral is the answer. Split squats are excellent for getting an effective, minimalist workout. Going single leg ups the intensity quite significantly. Technique choice depends on the areas you want to grow bigger and stronger. A wider stance vertical shin split squat emphasizes the posterior chain. This is excellent for those wanting more glute and hamstring. A narrow stance and inclined shin angle emphasize the anterior chain. Do you want to grow those quads bigger? This is your go-to exercise variation. The optimal setup is holding the dumbbell in one arm and bracing with the other. This eliminates the balance aspect and allows us to push the intensity higher. Now we can focus on using perfect technique and simply doing the work required. In terms of balance, set yourself up correctly from the start. I've got my feet around shoulder width apart when viewed front on. Replicating normal standing mechanics feels comfortable and maintains balance. Next, be sure to do split squats with a soft lockout at the top. Doing so aids in maintaining balance and keeping the leg muscles on tension. When light on equipment and weights, we've got to set strict standards for workout success. Let's bring everything together with global technique. Aim for 90 degrees of hip flexion when squatting down, or knee level with hip. For most people, this range of motion will be sufficient to stretch, stimulate, and progress. Let's return to an upper body exercise with single arm rows. Rows are a pulling movement targeting the back, posterior shoulders, and also biceps. You're probably wondering what's the deal with the single arm supported setup. Here's why. You watching at home are probably following along without heavy weights. Being strict with form and setup is the best way to up the intensity. Bracing the body with the hand increases stability without unnecessary torso fatigue. Don't worry, that's going to come later in Romanian deadlifts. Next, doing single arm exercise is always a great idea for enhancing symmetry or reducing side to side differences. You should look at our minimal training environment as an opportunity to use dominant technique and tempo. I'm getting a huge stretch and mindful squeeze. There's no swinging around or unnecessary momentum to hoist the weights up. The back, shoulder, and bicep are all doing their job when tempo, technique, and effort align. We can get complicated or keep things simple with rows. Let's focus on the big picture. Keep the body and torso angle fixed. Move the shoulder and arm. That's it. Minimizing extraneous body movements keeps the tension on the back, shoulder, and arm. Very important. Of course, when it comes to unilateral exercises, always do equal sets on both sides. The big tip you should apply is always start each workout, each set, with the weaker side first before switching. Let's continue with the infamous push-up, a calisthenics classic. The dumbbell push-up is going to increase range of motion and effectiveness. Expect more strength gain in the horizontal pushing pattern and a bigger upper body. How wide you set the dumbbells matters for emphasizing different muscle groups. If you want to target the triceps or arms, use a shoulder width grip and tucked elbow orientation. If the goal is hitting chest, take the dumbbells wider apart. The dumbbell neutral grip is also much friendlier on the wrists and requires less mobility. Hello pain-free reps. Additionally, the hand elevation allows the shoulder girdle to undergo a deeper range of motion, deeper stretch, and deeper gains. Global technique is easy for push-ups. Shoulder blades together on the way down and push tall through the chest at lockout. Basically take all of your joints through their maximum controllable range for best results. The last push-up pro tip is applying tempo or cadence of reps. In order to get the maximum benefit from bodyweight push-ups, use a strict speed. Controlled negatives, very brief pause in the deep stretch, and fast on the way up. How we perform our 10 to 20 rep set is more important than numbers alone. Uphold strict technique, work with legit effort, and progress over time. Don't have a pull-up bar? Alright, let's compromise with the dumbbell pullover. For today's purposes, we're using this mainly as a lat builder. However, keep in mind the chest and tricep muscles will fatigue also. That's functionally normal. There are two pullover variations, the tucked elbow technique or the straight arm method. Choose whichever suits. For shoulder safety, keep those elbows tucked in towards the body. This small technical adjustment shifts the stress from joints to muscles, exactly what we want. Range of motion is highly individual based on your available mobility. We want to lower as deep as we can without pain, getting a nice stretch in the lats. Return to the top with the dumbbell hovering vertically over the chest. No need to go any further. There's often debate what to do with the back and how to brace. Simply keep the bum on the bench plus or minus a hollow body. Arching is also fine. As long as the glutes remain planted, the lat origin will stay relatively fixed and the exercise will do the job. Because we're focusing on the lats with the pullover, this scapular cue is going to help. When pulling towards the chest, depress the shoulder blades or think of pulling your elbows down towards the bench. Pullovers with moderate loads are a real mind muscle exercise. Really pay attention to technique and tempo to get the most out of this minimalist pull-up substitute. You're going to love this dumbbell ab crunch. It's a fun and effective core exercise. We're getting the benefit of trunk flexion and hollow body training, a highly useful core combination for bodyweight mastery. My recommendation is to use fairly light loads because these get tough very quickly. As the weight is held distally, the load plus leg weight is more than challenging enough. When doing the ab crunch, we want to simultaneously curl up using our trunk and legs. Very important is the stretch or extension of the body. Be sure to lengthen the body out fully with a brace core, hollow body. What also helps for creating stability and core engagement is leg technique. During the ab crunch, aim to squeeze the feet and legs together. This recruits our adductor muscles, which feeds into developing even more core strength. For those who've been paying attention to form, breathing matters. As you pump out the reps at home, be sure to exhale hard when crunching in. This small detail once again helps with rep-to-rep consistency and complete ab recruitment. We're all about technique and sustainable effort at Fitness FAQs. The ab crunch is a great opportunity to undergo 3 sets of honest work. Good luck and enjoy the burn. It's time to finish up with one final leg exercise, Romanian deadlifts. Hip hinging is highly useful for daily function. More importantly though, it's going to grow a big and strong posterior chain. Romanians are simple in theory but sometimes tricky when first starting out. Think about shifting the shoulders forwards while the hips go backwards. Doing this action will automatically lower the dumbbells, creating a stretch in the back, glutes and hamstrings. Use maximum depth while maintaining a natural or neutral curve in the lower back. When this area feels like it's going to bend forward, that's the limit of your range of motion. For most people, this will be around mid to lower shin. That's normal. When all is applied correctly, the amount of knee bend should be comparable from top to bottom. A fixed knee makes Romanians effective for targeting the posterior chain at the hip. Remember, these are deadlifts and not squats. There's a huge difference in technique. Lastly, be sure to keep the dumbbells close to the body for future-proofing technique. Romanians benefit most from a 3-second negative, a pause, followed by an explosive hip thrusting concentric. This technique makes it possible to hinge correctly, and it also ensures excellent eccentric overload is prioritized. A final and small cue worth mentioning is that hip thrust at the top. As the name suggests, I'm pushing my hips forward and squeezing glutes at lockout. I'm simply returning to standing. Don't make the common mistake of an exaggerated lower back arch. Here's the complete workout from today. We're performing a superset with non-conflicting muscle groups in order to save time. Rest 1 minute between unilateral exercises and around 2 minutes between exercise pairs. We're doing a total of 27 sets. If done authentically, you're going to be roasted. That's why we're not doing anything extra. Thanks for watching, thumbs up below to support Fitness FAQs, and check out our channel for more videos.